Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again to our lesson. Today, inshallah, we're going to discuss a new lesson from Mega Goal 6. With me, I'm teacher Samia. Let's begin. Today, inshallah, we're going to discuss a reading passage from expansion 1 to 3, from unit 1 to 3. On this reading passage, as you see here, we found a kind of insects, or we found something make cause or make fear for you. As a beginning, before we will begin to our lesson, I want to warning you by two questions. If someone asking you, how or what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? So do you think about that question and ask yourself about that? Do you find something cause a fear or cause a nervous for you? And the second question is, how does your body respond when you feel fear? How does your body respond when you feel fear? Which means that what's happening to your body? If you have a fear or a phobia or something from that you are fear from it, what's happening to your body? Do you feel a quick heartbeat? Do you feel sweat or something nervous with you? You can ask yourself about that question. From these two questions, we found the reading passage today. Title of it is Phobias, which means nothing to fear. Phobias equal to, nothing to fear. Let's see what's that reading passage talking about. On your pupil's book, page 50, at the left side, we found the reading passage talking about phobias. Let we discuss that, and we see what is the stories inside the passages and the name or the kind of phobias that we have. Let's begin together.
Phobias. Nothing to fear. John Dixon was walking down the street with his friend Len when a cute, friendly little squirrel ran over to them. Len knelt down and gave it a nut, but John froze and backed away in terror. Although the squirrel was clearly not a threat, John felt so terrified that his heart began pounding. He broke out in a cold sweat, and he felt like he was about to faint. Why did John have such an extreme reaction to such a harmless animal? John has a phobia of animals. A phobia is an intense, irrational fear of a specific situation, activity, or thing that, in actuality, doesn't pose any true danger. People with phobias have a feeling of uncontrollable anxiety when they are exposed to the source of their phobia. This psychological reaction causes many physical symptoms. Some symptoms include shaking, rapid heartbeat, difficulty breathing, sweating, chest pains, dizziness, and a feeling of overwhelming anxiety. When a person has such physical reactions to something they fear, they are said to be having a panic attack. People with phobias feel such great distress when they encounter the thing they fear that they go out of their way to avoid such an encounter. People with phobias often know that their fears are irrational, but feel completely unable to control their fears. Sometimes a phobia has only a minimal impact on a sufferer's life. For example, Janet Accra has a paralyzing fear of spiders, arachnophobia. However, as long as she avoids going into woodsy or grassy areas, she is generally able to avoid seeing them. Some phobias, however, can prevent sufferers from participating in normal, everyday activities. These kinds of phobias can have a devastating impact on the sufferer's life. For example, after being in a car accident, George Ramirez developed acrophobia, a fear of riding in vehicles. After that, the only way George could get from one place to another was to walk. And since his college was 20 miles, 32 kilometers away, too far to walk, George dropped out. There are hundreds of different kinds of
Okay.
phobias, but
What we
only a
notice in this
handful are
paragraph,
very
at the
common.
first paragraph, we notice
One
that
of
they
these
mentioned the
phobias
story
is
for
the fear of
John
heights,
Dayson.
acrophobia.
Sorry,
People
Dixon,
with this fear
and
are
he have
unable
a
to
kind
look
of
out the
phobia
window of a
from
tall
animals,
building without feeling a
from
panic
a
attack.
squirrel.
Phobias.
After that, he broke out in a cold sweat, and he felt like he was about to faint. So why did John have such an extreme reaction about this phobia? This kind of phobia, we're calling it phobia from animals. And in the second paragraph, we found that they given to us a definition for phobia. They given to us a definition for phobia. They told us it's an intense, irrational fear of a specific situation, activity, or thing that in actuality don't pose any true danger. So after that, he told us that people with phobias have feeling uncontrollable anxiety when they are exposed to source of their phobia. After that, he mentioned to us some examples and the kind and some names of phobias on the third paragraph. They told us that people with phobias often know that their fears are irrational, but feel completely unable to control their fears. And sometimes a phobia has only minimal impact on a sufferer's life. For example, Janet Acra has a paralyzing fear of spiders. So they mentioned the name of phobias, or a kind, one kind of phobia's name, arachnophobia. It's a kind of fear from spider. And however, as long as she avoid to going a woodsy or grassy areas. The second example they mentioned to us, after being a car accident for the character who mentioned there, the kind of this phobia, what happened to them, we're calling it ocophobia. So the fear from accident, we're calling it ocophobia. That's what happened with this Janet. They mentioned this character by name Janet in the passages. Let we complete in the next paragraph and see what happened. In the next paragraph, they mentioned to us there is hundreds of different kinds of phobias. And one of these phobias, fear of height, and the other one, fear of cars. And the third one conveys a space when the people have a long space. This is another kind of phobias. And also, if they are being in a large or wide open spaces or places where having would be difficult. Phobias generally avoid places like shopping mall, stadiums, and other crowded places. And some people develop such as intense agoraphobia, that they are not able to leave their home of years. In addition to the more common phobias, there are dozens of unusual, little known phobias, such as the fear of clowns, chlorophobia, fear of taking a bath or shower, and plotophobia is another kind, that fear of trees. And dinner phobia is, in fact, there is even a fear of phobias, phobophobia. On the next paragraph, they told us that although no one knows for sure how phobias develop, some researchers believe that phobias are passed from parents to the children. So this is another kind of phobias, that no reason with that phobias, just it's transferred from parents to the children. In 1 or 2 years, either by inheriting the gene of or for phobia, or by observing a parent's reaction to something and learning to react in the same way. Another possibility they mentioned that is that phobias are a reaction to something frightening a person may have previously experienced. And however, there are treatments that can help people with phobias. What is that treatment? Let we check together. While some people take medication to alleviate their phobias, many others go to counseling, where they learn techniques to overcome their phobias permanently. And for example, learning simple relaxation exercises can help people feel more control when they confronted with feared objects and situations. At the end, there is a Japanese proverb that says, fear is not only as deep as the imagination allows. People who have learned to overcome phobias understand how true this is. Okay, from the passages or reading passages, we learned already the definition for phobias and some kinds and the name that scientists put for phobias and what is the name for them, and the last thing, how the people treat with that phobias and the Japanese proverb about phobias. Okay, the second question for reading passage is put each word next to its antonym. So antonym means that you should bring the opposite of the words. Let we discuss that words they give it to us. Alleviate, confined, devastating, and distress, irrational. And they give it down some of words that some of them or one of them opposite or antonym for the previous word. Improving, intensify, comfort, realized, and logical. What do you think improving is? Or what do you think the antonym for the word improving is? So improving equal, the antonym of it is devastating. Intensify is alleviate, and comfort is distress. Realized, the antonym of it is confined, and the last word logical, it's the antonym of it, it's irrational. Okay, by the end of this lesson, I would be thanks for your join to our class, and I hopefully to coming back. Thank you so much.